This is a response to the movie Expelled by Ben Stein, and these are some of the social implications of the belief in Darwinian evolution. The unquestioned devotion to Darwinism has a chilling effect on science. But were there more consequences? Yes, there were indeed more consequences. Darwinian evolution leads to selfishness and devaluing of human life, because the God-given distinction between man and animals, that God is made in the image of God, is removed. It eliminates spiritual moral absolutes, joy, compassion, and hope. In both the past and the present, these ideas have been carried to the logical extremes, if you can call it logical. The results are seen in the devaluing of the infirm through eugenics, the handicapped and aged through euthanasia, other ethnic groups through ideologies such as Nazism, and the unborn through abortion. All of these have dire social implications, leading to immorality, merciless murder, the loss of the right to life and liberty, and loss of freedom. Humans are more than just animals. Humans are created in God's image. People have a spirit. Human beings have complex languages. Although animals do have an ability to communicate, such as warnings or alarms, human beings have the ability to communicate animals never had, have, or will have on Earth. People have the ability to distinguish between right and wrong. Yet another thing animals do not have. We have logic, and we possess the ability to communicate with the one who made us. Is it ever right to involuntarily sterilize human beings? Eugenics is, by definition, the science of improving a human population by controlled breeding to increase the occurrence of desirable heritable characteristics, developed largely by Francis Galton as a method of improving the human race, but fell into disfavor only after the perversion of instructions by the German Nazis. In Mein Kampf, Hitler said he would eliminate all the children born of African German descent because he considered them an insult to the German nation. Once a child was decided to be of black descent, the child was taken immediately to a hospital and sterilized. About 400 children were medically sterilized. The world's leading scientists, even in our own country, thought that they could help evolution by sterilizing the so-called feeble-minded and prohibiting them from getting married. Basically, reproduction in certain people groups was hindered in the hopes of helping out evolution. Painfully, 50,000 Americans were involuntarily sterilized simply because they were considered unfit to breed. Darwinian evolution contributed to scientists, such as Francis Galton, believing that they had a right to sterilize human beings. Wow! The mutilation shows extreme disrespect for and an attitude of superiority over these individuals. Is it ever right to murder a fellow human being? Murder is defined as the premeditated act of killing another person, many times done for personal benefit, not because of a crime committed or an act of war. Another area where Darwinian evolution has corrupted science and the sanctity of life is in euthanasia. Euthanasia is defined as the painless killing of a patient suffering from an incurable and painful disease or in an irreversible coma. The practice is illegal in most countries. Its synonyms are mercy killing and assisted suicide. Although this is the official definition, many people distort and twist this procedure to justify murdering people without the person's permission, which is indeed different than killing people for a capital punishment. In World War II, thousands of people lost their lives because the establishment declared they had an incurable and painful disease. The old, the infirm, and the handicapped were now called diseased. They were mercilessly murdered because they could not work and were considered useless eaters. The Germans thought if they killed all of the people with handicaps, they would have a utopia, which then was a society without illness or handicap. This developed into a horrible passion to kill these people. The principle behind this is their belief in evolution. If we are just evolving animals, we have no intrinsic value. Thus, their horrible passion to murder the biologically inferior was born. The Nazis murdered at least 240,000 disabled people, according to the government of Germany, who, in 2005, issued an apology to their relatives. Hitler and the Nazi physicians believed they had a right to mercilessly murder fellow human beings. Is it ever right to try massacring an entire race? Ethnic cleansing is the mass expulsion or killing of members of an unwanted ethnic or religious group in a society. German concentration camps were started for the purpose of oppressing political enemies, but later were also used to oppress ethnic enemies. Sometimes these purposes overlapped. The Nazis believed in Darwinian evolution and thought of themselves as a superior race. Their belief in Darwinism and thus natural selection had helped them think that nature had selected them. Statistically, Hitler attempted to annihilate several ethnic groups. Although Jews were the primary victims of Nazis' evil, many other groups were targeted based on both racial and political grounds. Other groups singled out by the Nazis included LGBTQ individuals, physically and mentally disabled, Roma gypsies, Poles, other Slavic peoples, Jehovah's Witnesses, and members of political opposition groups. Hitler thought he was benefiting society by driving evolution forward and creating a better humanity, because he believed the German race to be the most evolved and highest race. Is it ever right to murder an unborn child? Abortion is the deliberate termination of a human pregnancy most often performed during the first 20 weeks of pregnancy. In the movie Expelled, Ben Stein asks the intriguing question, I know that Darwinism does not automatically equate to Nazism, but if Darwinism inspired and justified such horrific events in the past, could it be used to rationalize similar initiatives today? The horrific murdering of innocent unborn children is just such an event. It rids people of their economic and God-given responsibility to rear their young. It's just a devaluing of human life. Abortion and euthanasia follow easily from a Darwinian perspective because life to them is just the transition of life forms, and life and death are just natural processes. This ignores the fact that all individuals are created in the image of God, able to pray and have a relationship with God. The belief in Darwinian evolution, when carried to its logical extremes, leads to immorality, malicious, merciless murder, and a lacking of passion through eugenics, euthanasia, and ethnic cleansing. You see the loss of both religious and cultural freedom through ethnic cleansing. The loss of the right to live comes around through abortion, when you believe in evolution. You also acquire the loss of the liberty to procreate through eugenics. Even though the Nazis and Planned Parenthood believe mankind has the right to perform these acts, mankind does not. According to the Bible, people who are made in God's image have a responsibility to have children, and people do not have a right to murder. This ideology has gone a long way, to massacring entire races since the beginning of time, to the hindrance of marriage and of procreation in the 1920s, to murdering supposedly useless people during World War II, to slaughtering an innocent baby inside the womb. Darwinism leads to hopelessness, elimination of morality, no human free will, and a lack of reverence for human life. These are truly chilling consequences.